Matthew Hayden says that no team in the world in this tournament will want to play us. No one wants to play against the team that's lost more games that remain in the competition. Welcome back to TGC, powered by Cred. Cred is giving insane rewards during this World Cup all the way until November 13. Pairs, you can pay all your bills with Cred, not just your credit card bill, your phone bill, your electricity bill, your water bill, any bill you like. This is a billing in itself if you want to pay that. I'm not sure you can pay this billing. That doesn't really make any sense. Different to Sam Billings, of course. But you can pay any bill you like with Cred. Now, this is the matchup that we're talking about. A little preview here for semi-final 1. No, that wasn't an echo effect in post-production. That was just me with a stutter. South Africa? They're
still on the tip of your tongue, isn't it?
New Zealand versus Pakistan. What are we looking at here?
It was our first preview, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, I guess
something
so.
that hasn't happened yet. Gazing into the crystal ball,
Right.
mate? We all know. We won't admit.
Everyone knows this.
Who we want to win this game. You know. But we also know this World Cup does not adhere to the script. So in the same way, Costanza says, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah.
I think and hope New Zealand wins this game.
I think New Zealand are going to win this game.
Me too.
But
Me too.
But isn't that like, it's like getting a dessert and getting like something with vanilla in it. It's a bit like, I could have had chocolate. I could have had a little sweeter treat.
Look, this game's quite simple. It's a reliable relationship versus a passionate lover.
Perfect.
It's a reliable relationship versus a passionate lover.
Yep.
And there's a wise decision to be made, but I don't want to make it.
Yeah.
Because I have loins.
Are your loins playing up again?
All of their loins
up?
are playing up. The Pakistanis weren't meant to make this.
Yeah.
They're not meant to be here, and yet they are. They march in. They've got DOS behind them in the sheds, talking about how no one wants them.
Yeah.
I want them.
Yeah.
I want them hard. You know?
I feel like I've got a heated seat at the moment. It's just my loins heating up.
So it's a great contrast.
Right.
Here we have New Zealand. New Zealand are balanced. New Zealand are poised. New Zealand know how they play. They have a way of playing.
Yep.
They set up the same way. They're experienced.
Right.
You know what you're getting.
That's missionary.
It's
missionary lights
but
off.
Missionary can be fucking good.
Oh, effective. It's definitely effective. It's definitely effective. It's missionary versus reverse cowgirl. Okay?
Bolton Southey are experienced. They're wickets. Kane Williamson will do the job for you.
Sure.
There's a bit of fun in there in Glenn Phillips and Finn Allen.
Sure. Fun to say. Fun name to say, Finn Allen.
And there's a bit of fast twitch stuff.
Yeah.
But then you have Pakistan.
Yeah. Raw
or
sex.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're back.
There's a lot of sexualization happening with this show at the moment.
I don't care.
And I do, but I still keep reverting to it. Now, Bubba and Rizwan, they are due to score runs.
Right.
They're due.
Right.
And if I know anything about sport, and I don't, they're nailed on. That's how this happens in any tournament.
Bankers.
If any tournament, when the story's written and the history's written about how the tournament gets won, run and won, if you will, I know you will.
I have when I will.
Nobody remembers who scored runs early in the tournament. It's not remembered.
No.
This is when the big boys step up.
Knockout gear.
It is.
Yeah.
This is when it
big
happens.
boy shit. This is big boy shit. Step aside, boys. It's big boy time.
In footy codes, for example,
Now we're talking.
in those codes where there is a regular season and then there's a postseason,
Right.
Say NBA as well.
Okay.
Who remembers regular season? This is the real competition now. This is when the big boys step up. Same with IPL, stuff like that. PSL. You remember the PSL, right?
All of them. Yeah.
You don't remember who scored runs in the regular season?
No,
you remember who scored runs in the postseason?
That's right.
And that man's name is RM Williams.
Right.
So I think the big boys are stepping up for Pakistan. I think we're going back to Bubba. I think we're going back to Rizwan. I think we're getting into Shaheen Shah Afridi gear.
Okay. Because Shaheen Shah Afridi he performed wonderfully in that final game against Bangladesh.
Yeah, which is a warm-up.
He took 4 for 22. It's a nice warm-up. But his pace, I feel like, has been a little bit down throughout the tournament. It's been sort of in the high 130s, even in the low to mid 130s at the time. Now, he can really jack it up right into the 140s.
But he can crank.
Right, he can crank. But then I suppose he's got a pace barrage around him, so his accuracy and skill might buttress that raw speed attack. But
SCG though slower. It's a slower deck.
The highest runs have been scored at the SCG so far. Though I'm not sure if they're playing on a new wicket this time or they're just playing on like a day 8 wicket now.
SCG's
at the SCG.
been dead for about 8 years though, hasn't
it wasn't for New Zealand's first game against I think it was Australia, a weaker side.
I'm talking about for pace though. For
raw pace.
For pace. I'm talking raw dogging with some pace.
Okay, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a few runs flying about at the SCG.
There were some high scores knocking about. I think all the high scores so far have been in Sydney so far. Now becomes an issue like about New Zealand's batting, if we can do that, compare that to New Zealand's batting. Where it's been a Glenn Phillips show so far, Neesham hasn't really got into the tournament in the sense of we know what he can do at the back end of an innings, sort of a finishing role. Santon has been batting 7 for them, right? That feels one spot too high. One high. And then Ish Sodhi 8, I think it is. Then you got Bolt, Southey and Lockie Ferguson. There are your bowlers. That's the attack. So you're looking at Finn Allen, Devon Conway at the top, Kane Williams, some stability, a little bit of balance, maybe batting Beard through the innings. It's a Beard.
Can take catches or not.
Who
up
bats?
To him.
But
Unnecessary.
he's got a lot of credit in the bank though, so you got to respect that. So who bats? So is Glenn Phillips 4? Is that who bats 4? Who bats 5 then?
You're losing me there.
Yeah, okay.
You're starting to lose me.
There's always one guy
in New Zealand.
It's only Daryl Mitchell. That's right.
Friend of the show.
Yeah,
of course.
that's right.
He had the best test year as well. Forget Bairstow. Daryl Mitchell's the man.
Yeah, that's right. All on the losing side as well in that England in that series in the UK. So
Who's six?
6 is Jimmy Neesham.
Oh, Nish, of course. That's a good side. It's a good side.
Yeah, but it's just it's a vanilla it's a croissant without any any jam, with no filling in it.
Love a
it's no pan au chocolat.
I love a plain croissant. I love one.
Oh, it'll do. It's like having a muffin. Like a muffin will fill you up.
But can you win a World Cup with one?
Couple of muffin tops. Actually, there's no muffin tops on that side. It's a fucking very slender looking side.
Still balanced. Like you talk about the batting, to me, I see explosion. I see the ability to anchor if needs be. I see good death batting. I see good power play batting. It's all pretty good for New Zealand. Where I particularly like them is in the spin department. Now, where they bossed Australia at the SCG, I think was there. Australia went with a high pace attack, or so we tell ourselves, even though it's not really, without giving a lot of credence to spin at the SCG. Right. And it was actually Santner, Sodhi taking pace off that really assisted, I thought. And I think they're really well balanced in that department there as well. So they got 8 overs of decent spin. Yeah. And so, I think they're great shakes, New Zealand. Oh, yeah. Not to be confused with the religious appointment, but but then you have Pakistan who can be anything. Now, I'm not going to talk about matchups. We already talked about the matchups.
Now, Pakistan can be anything.
Yeah,
and they often are in the same game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was only recently when Rizwan and Babar Azam chased 200 against England, but they lost that series, and they've already lost 2 games in this tournament again in scenarios where they should have won. But you still I feel like Pakistan are taking me all the way, but then just letting me go,
I think they're going. Yeah. I think they're going on the way. Do you remember that Pakistan-India game? They won that game 20 times.
100%.
And they were bowling. Those guys are smart, those quicks. They can bowl high pace, but for most of that India game, they were really good bowling slow balls into the deck and exploiting big boundaries. They don't have that at the SCG, but they do have the wile and the guile. And we haven't even mentioned the fast weaker. Shadab Khan.
You're talking about Shadab Khan.
Well, he's almost played at the tournament, Shadab Khan. Almost. I'm not going to say. There's a couple others floating around. But he looms as a danger man.
Well, so does Nawaz as well, who's just had a wild tournament of highs and mostly lows.
Yeah, he's due.
He took Pakistan all the way to the edge against that Zimbabwe game. Then he got out maybe in this last over or second last over. He obviously has to bowl the last over against India. He feels like he's contributing in the tournament. He's been batting 3, he's been batting 4, he's been coming in a pinch in a role, finishing the job in lower stages of the innings rather. Pakistan's middle order is very interesting. They're very interesting, like Iftikhar Ahmed, Shan Masood, getting conversationally, like world thinkers, great, huge world views, ambitious people.
Yes.
And then the bowlers is just obviously raw sex, but with a bit of Shadab Khan, that's what you need into the deck as well. 99k leggies.
That's what you need.
you know, it feels like they've got the highest ceiling, yet New Zealand consistently over and over and over again. And, you know, it's obviously an Australian birthright to not rank the rate the Kiwis.
Or rank them.
But, yeah.
Apart from hot or not. Southie, top. Oh, yeah.
But I feel like globally, everyone's like, nah, well, Pakistan have got better players, though, don't they? But yet...
I think the globe knows that New Zealand are fucking... They'll be there and thereabouts.
You know what? I can just see New Zealand... I think New Zealand have more ways to win the game, but I feel like Pakistan have more match winners. But I feel like that anytime New Zealand play against anyone, the other team has more match winners, yet New Zealand continually... gel and they outperform as a team because it's somehow a team game, though obviously in our experience it's just
what do you want?
Individual
What do you
game.
want in life? Do you want reliability or do you want to be mercurial? You know, do you want the highest ceiling? Do you want reliability or romance? Like I close my eyes, as I often do, and I think of the SCG and I can see and hear the Pakistani fans rise as one behind their team.
Yes.
And then I can see Bolt just sort of taking a couple of early ones and the crowd quietens down and you can just hear them go, yeah.
I can see Southie sort of taking like 1 for 17 off 4 and it sort of just dampens the whole...
Yeah. And I can see Nisham doing a really
stable job.
A clever tweet afterwards. He'll probably do 10K and it's good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty
good.
smart, you know. And that's the sort of game. That's the preview we're looking at. You know, you might say, well, how do they match up? You know, I'll tell you about matchups. How do you answer a matchup question when you have like Finn Allen matches up well to right arm over the wicket bowlers who bowl high pace, and then you go, oh well, Harris Ralph matches up well to a right-handed batter in the power plays who also is between the ages of 19 to 23 playing for New Zealand. What do you do? You know, do they both physically implode?
Yes.
You know, I don't know if either of those things are true.
Yeah.
But I think the more kind of visceral, gut instinct preview is what we're offering here. And, you know, I know who I want to win, and you know, you know, it's not a lie if you believe it, and that's why I think the Kiwis will emerge.
Well, in terms of matchups, Pez, we know how dangerous the Kiwis can be on a Wednesday. That's
true.
a huge factor for them.
Yeah,
it's a Wednesday game. The Wednesday game post 5 o'clock, of course.
There are a lot of New Zealanders in Sydney. To be fair,
that's true. It should be a red hot crowd. I reckon should be good,
and we welcome them.
Is it going to rain? You know what the forecast is?
Let's have a look.
Let's have a quick
we're
look.
ready for this.
Let's have a quick
little Captain Cook.
Because we're in Melbourne, obviously, and obviously because everyone knows our exact whereabouts. And it is supposed to rain on Sunday, which are in the finals.
Perfect.
That's going to be good.
Perfect sunny all day, baby.
Yeah, now
sunny
we're talking.
all day.
Okay, so what's so a good score? Sort of 190, 193.
Yeah, look, I think 193 plays 189.
Well, that's TGC's preview for the first semi-final. Just get this one out of the way before the big one the next night.
That's right.
At Adelaide, England and India.
I think it is.
I think it is India. I think they did make it in the end. I have to check the table, but we will be.
How does Kohli go in Adelaide? I haven't heard much about it.
In Australia, generally, no good. No good.
Right, okay.
No good.
I'll have to look it up.
We will be previewing that game as well. Of course, that will come out tomorrow. But that's the preview for the first semi-final of the T20 World Cup. And what a World Cup as it has been.